Am I the asshole for blatantly pretending my roommate doesn't exist because of her robbing prank? I, 20F, live in a very safe city. One of the safest cities in the nation. Due to this and lack of parental regulation as a kid, I never locked my doors. I drive a Wrangler and take the top and doors off and have never had a problem with stealing. I've never locked the doors to my houses or apartments. This has never been an issue with my old roommates or family. It's just the way I've developed. My roommate, 19F, since moving in, has increasingly become more paranoid and anxious. I've known her for years and have never seen her like this. She thinks there are cameras in her sink. If she gets a bug bite, she assumes she has bugs living in her bed. When she sleeps, she has paralysis where someone comes in to kill her. She locks her bedroom door and front door for safety. Knowing this, I've tried to lock the door. However, I don't sometimes. It's a habit I'm trying to break. I came home a week ago, there was shit everywhere. It looked like a mini tornado whirled through my apartment. I went in my room and my TV was gone. My mini boba fridge was gone. All my vintage Playboys were gone, so much of my clothes vanished. It was clear, through my eyes, that I had been robbed. I sat on my bed and just sat there in shock. On the verge of tears, I called my father who didn't pick up and I was left defeated practically, lol. Then I jumped up because I was worried for my roommate's room. She was sitting there waiting for me. She had all my things in there. Pranked me to try and teach me a lesson about locking the door. My problem is that she never even talked to me. I had no idea this was an issue with her before. She said I should have assumed that I need to lock the door out of respect for a shared living space. After trivial arguing, I stfu and went mute, grabbed all my stuff to put in my room, and I have completely ignored her since. I'm upset and not over it. I find her thought process alarming and delusional. A mutual friend says that I'm overreacting and being rude to her when she's going through a hard time. As much as I understand that she's having problems, I have received zero empathy or question of my feelings. I don't think I'm in awe. I think everybody's out of their minds and I need some time away from the crazies. Edit, update. Oh boy. Look, I'm just naive. I honestly didn't know. Thank you to the people who understand that I wasn't trying to be malicious by forgetting to lock the door. Also, no, my roommate is not insane. She's a close friend of mine, and we get along well in every other situation. We do most things together. That's my biggest confusion about this, as she has never had a problem with communication before. So I am not finding another roommate, lol. She's going to the doctor for her symptoms and help is on the way. Also, yes, my instinct was to sit on my bed. When you enter that level of shock, it's hard to think clearly. My perspective, at the moment, was that she was not home yet because her car wasn't here. I wasn't meaning to be selfish by being sad about my collections and not thinking about my potentially dead roommate. Edit 2. I forgot to mention that yes, I have talked to her. She said that she thought I would think of it as a silly prank and laugh about it when I saw all my things. I didn't take it that way though. I talked to her and asked why she wouldn't just ask me one time to be more aware of locking the door every time, which I know shouldn't have to be addressed, but that it would have been a necessary action before stealing all my things, ripping a few of my posters, making the house a mess, which, BTW, she made me clean up, as her way of telling me to do better. I apologized for my stupidity and naiveness. I don't believe in bad people. This has actually been a problem I've always had. Anyway, she apologized too and will be giving me some compensation to help pay for the damage she gave me in the process of this prank. Hashtag LOCK the damn door. It does not matter how you were raised. The second you started living with others, the game changed. You know how when someone gets killed or something horrible happens and you see that neighbor on TV who looks panicked and says, "This kind of thing doesn't happen here?" That's you. Newsflash. That kind of thing happens everywhere. Lock your door, especially in a roommate situation. That is not to excuse what your roommate did. I get the point she was trying to make, but the way she did it wasn't acceptable. Sounds like she may need help and you need a new roommate. Am I the asshole for trying to upstage my sister at her wedding? Okay, so despite having some spats recently, I, 26F, was recently invited to attend my sister's, 31F, wedding. Now I'm not part of the bridal party or anything. I honestly don't think I'd want to be, but just going as a guest. The rules my sister laid out were that it can't be white and it has to be a more formal type of dress, which I didn't mind and agreed to the rules. I had the perfect dress in mind, which was one I wore to a friend's wedding about a year ago, which I had still held on to. For information, the dress is a floor-length silverish dress with a leaf-like design, and not too flashy or anything. So deciding it was better than spending more euro on a new dress, I opted to wear it. So jumping to the day of the wedding, I show up in my dress with my boyfriend. Everything seems fine up until the reception afterwards, where my sister acts somewhat cold to me after I come up and congratulate her and her husband. My sister tells me that she doesn't approve of my dress and that it would be best if I left. I asked her what was wrong about it, as it fit both requirements she had set for the dresses worn. She told me that it looked as if I was attempting to upstage her at her own wedding with my dress of choice. Not wanting to cause a scene, my boyfriend and I opted to not argue and leave. On the way out, my parents asked where we were going and I told them the situation. They seemed conflicted, with my mother agreeing that it looked like I was trying to be too showy at the wedding, where my father agreed with me that it wasn't too fancy of a dress, and my sister just seemed jealous. But now I'm wondering if I am the asshole in this situation and need to apologize to my sister for it. Edit. Since everyone assumes that I am from a Western family. My father is Turkish and mother is Belgian. This was a traditional Turkish wedding where the bride wears reds, limited whites, and golds. Traditionally in Turkish weddings you wear formal clothing. Everyone else was wearing floor-length dresses and men in tuxedos. You are the asshole. So tired of people playing coy when they wear off-white dresses. That's not appropriate for most weddings and you should have checked. Given you already seem to have bad blood with her, I'm inclined to think you knew this would upset her. Edit to include. I know this is a Turkish wedding and the bride wore red, white, gold. I'm keeping the original verdict, as the bride asked her not to wear white, and it's been revealed that this was because half the guests were Westerners. Info. Do you have a link to the dress? Silver could be awfully close to white, hard to say without a pic. If your relationship is so bad you didn't think you'd even be invited, it seems like a bold choice to wear a borderline dress. Edit. You are the asshole, that is way too bridal. Am I the asshole for taking back my husband's gift after he lost me a big promotion? Names changed for obvious privacy reasons. When I, 32 female, was a teenager, I had to go into foster care. The next few years were pretty bad and I ended up doing some things that I'm not proud of, and getting myself into some serious legal trouble. I don't want to go into detail, but I shaped up and managed to avoid completely destroying my life. A few years later, I aged out and reunited with my older brother, who helped me get my record sealed. He also helped me get into college, and now I'm working in a field I'm passionate about in a job I love, where I met my husband, 34 male. I've been up for a promotion and raise, and it was more or less guaranteed until now. Weekend before last, we had a work party during which my husband got to talking with our CEO and, after having a bit too much to drink, told him about my juvenile history. The next Monday, I got called in by my boss and was told my promotion would not be happening. I asked why they would do this, and he recounted my history to me in excruciating detail, to the extent that I couldn't even plead ignorance or claim it was untrue. He was sympathetic, but the higher-ups had made it clear that under no circumstances could I be rewarded due to the breach of trust on my part. I said I had no record when I interviewed, and the financial nature of some of my past mistakes. He said it was a leadership responsibility they were not ready to trust me with, and that I could keep my job, but that was it. I was heartbroken and I felt my husband betrayed me. We got into a massive fight and he has apologized profusely and asked me to forgive him because he wasn't in his right mind. Yesterday, I cancelled a very large debit transfer which I'd promised towards an expensive piece I was getting him as a gift for his timepiece collection. I made the offer when we knew I would be getting promoted, and now that I'm not getting my raise, I just don't want to take that much out of my savings. He hit the roof when he found out, because he's now stuck with a huge bill, and accused me of being petty and dishonest for continuing to punish him for a mistake he's already apologized for. I told him that he should have thought of that before opening his mouth at the party. He said that while he's sorry I lost the promotion, I have enough savings to do the honorable thing and keep my promise, and that I of all people should understand the importance of forgiveness and second chances. I messed up, and I paid for it, and I've worked really hard to forgive myself and put my past behind me. I don't think it's fair that over a decade later, I'm still being punished for something I've already paid for, even if he did so by accident. I don't think I'm the asshole given what he did, but he's currently not speaking to me. I could use some objectivity here. Too long did not read. Am I the asshole for taking back a gift after my husband cost me the promotion that would have paid for said gift? Not the asshole. Please check with an attorney about your boss rescinding your promotion. If your records were sealed, the contents, even if revealed by your spouse, shouldn't be held against you. You may have a legal case. Edit. Op was a teenager and that could make a difference, depending on where they live and the laws there.